Hey everybody, welcome back to another Unreal Engine 4 Project Hero game development live stream, where we're going to be making an RPG adventure game from scratch using Unreal Engine 4, C++, blueprints, the gameplay ability system plugin, all that good stuff. So welcome, first time joining, welcome to the stream. So last time we worked on this, we were able to finish the constructor of this blueprint stylized weather that we have. So we have this weather system that we got off of the Unreal Engine 4 marketplace. It's called Stylized Weather, something like that, and it comes with a blueprint. And you can kind of change the weather. It has sun and clouds and things like that, and the sun will change position and go across the sky, etc. It'll turn to nighttime. It has rain, etc. So we're converting this to C++ just for educational purposes so we can learn. Hopefully it'll help us code. And we finished the constructing script. So there's a bunch of it here. We got this, and then we have initialize setting, which does all of this. It has this create DM thing. It has a bunch of settings. It has this collapsed graph that does this and all of this. It's pretty much a lot of stuff. So we finally are able to do that, which is great. Honestly, we don't know if this is going to work yet for us in the C++ side, but we're not done, so we have to wait until we're done to see if it'll work. So we're going to work on the timeline aspects of it. This is going to be hard. This is what I've been kind of dreading a little bit. We've done timelines before, and the first timeline should be pretty easy, but we'll have to go per timeline. See what the damage is going to be, So we're going to start from here. So time course, it's pretty simple, 0 to 1. It seems. And it basically just interpolates parameters, sets the sun parameter, sets some wind offsets. So it's only 1 second, and then after it's, after a second, it finishes, and then we kind of start from the beginning again. It just keeps going and going. And so time course this, then begin play, does that. So let's see if we can even do this. This is gonna be pretty tough, and I'm not gonna know exactly if it's gonna work. So let's just get started. Let's just bite the bullet, So I believe under collectible, we have logic for a timeline component. So we have tick, and we have a float curve, which we'll need. I think that's it. So we have these two things. So it's under a protected thing. So let's just give it its own section. And then there's what? This function. Now there should be like an unfinished callback that we'll need. So let's just quickly make a public. I just want all these like next to each other, And we need to, I'm pretty sure we have to import something. Yeah, timeline component. So this is a pretty big fucking header class. Yeah, this thing is getting pretty big. That's what she said. So we got the timeline component, and then in the source file, we need what? Timeline component here. this all happens on begin play. So on begin play, actually, yeah, let's see what begin play does. Because we might have to just do what's on begin play first. So it calls a function called initialize setting, and that's something that we did in the constructor script. So we should be able to call just initialize So I believe it's initialized weather settings. So let's find initialized weather settings. Yes. Okay. And then there's a new function called weather raffle setting, and we need to make this. So let's go to the header. We'll do void weather raffle settings. And so there seems to be an array of struct weather. So we're clearing that. I don't know if we have this as a function. So let's quickly implement this. When I say function, I mean fucking variable. And it's under what? Category weather. Do we have a weather category? Yeah. So we'll do it here. And so it's an array of the struct weather. So we gotta do what? T array, F weather. Nope, I missed that. F weather. And we'll call it raffle weather array. So I think that's okay. I think that's kosher. So we got that variable. Now we're doing loops within loop, which is, I guess, fun. So get data table row names. I don't know how to do that. So weather raffle settings, we got to, first we gotta clear this. So raffle weather dot, is it just dot clear? I don't know if that's okay. Can I like F12 that and it'll tell me? All right, it should be okay. Now we got, yeah, see, now it's like, no, I don't want to do that. Is it dot empty? Empties the array. Okay. So that's good. Now we have to get the weather data that we have, and we gotta get data table row names. So is there like a, so weather data, get data, no. I know we did something with data tables. It's probably gonna be, yeah, so there's find row. So is there really not something I can call like row? So get all rows. So there's a context string and an out array. Get row names, here we go. So we gotta do T array, F name, I'll say weather names, or weather data row names equals that. I think that's okay. I don't see any problems there, but who knows, there could be. Now we gotta loop through these. So we gotta do a nested for loop. So the first part of the for loop is getting the name and getting the data table row. And that's something that we're doing up there where I remember now. So something like this. So let me just copy pasta so we have it as a reference. So we gotta do something like for, and then what is it? F name, current weather name from weather data names. And then we gotta just say okay, so we gotta say, so F weather current weather equals weather data find row F weather current weather name, that, and then true. And then we gotta have an if statement. What's up, Christoph? what? And what is that supposed to mean? What you talking about? Oh, are you making fun of me? Oh, oh, like that. Stop judging me. I keep doing it now. Now I'm gonna be subconscious about it. Fuck you, Christoph. Let's see. So we gotta do a branch. So we gotta say if. So we gotta get the weight. So if it's greater than 0. So we could say current weather dot weight greater than 0. Then we gotta do a new for loop. What's wrong with this? Okay, say like that. Okay. I guess when it's a pointer, you have to do like this. Like, so it's a pointer and it literally has to point to it. If it's not a pointer, then you can do the dot. Fuck. Christoph, damn you. Let's see. So if it is greater than 0, we have to do a new for loop. So for, whoops. For I always suck with for loops when it's not like a normal for loop in my eyes. Yeah, it's something we gotta just write it like this. So in for 32, index equals 0. Index does not equal current weather weight -1. Okay. And then we gotta say raffle weather array dot add it's current weather. What's wrong? Is it because it's not a pointer? Let's just try to compile and we'll see what the damage is. Okay. So inappropriate on... Okay, so this isn't a pointer. Okay, so we gotta do it that because it's a struct. Then what, we gotta just do dot? Oh, that was the problem. Whoops. Okay, so this can be a pointer. Let's try this again. Come on, mama. Oh yeah, it's gonna bitch because it's not pointing. Fuck me. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then do I have to do something like that? It's something I stuck with C++. It's like, if something doesn't work, I know to either try to add an asterisk after the variable or an ampersand sign. You know, the and sign? Okay, it's still broken. So disregard what I just said because I'm stupid.
Hello there.
Hello, Sandra. Oh, all right. This is different because I'm declaring a function, but I'm not actually implementing it, so we can just implement it. And since it's void, it doesn't need to return anything. It's not going to be a big deal. How's it going, Sandra? How's life? All right. Compiled. We're cool. All right, so we're still kind of in the dark, but we know this is good so far. Fingers fucking crossed, right? So this is the whole weather raffle setting. So this all right here, you're able to translate here. Oh yeah, this is that's garbage. So we have that set. So hip hip hooray. So now, all right, so he's doing it by play rate, so that makes a little bit of sense. So we set the play rate, and then it kind of goes through there. I ended my journey in C++ at pointers. Could I figure that thing out? Yeah, honestly, you could tell, like, I don't get pointers either. Like, it's a whole thing where it's like, you know, you can point to a variable, but then there's actually pointing to the actual, like, memory location of what that variable is storing, and that's what's confusing to a lot of people, including myself. Okay, so what we do now in a begin play is, so we have initialized weather settings, then we call weather raffle settings, then we say if, is it, do I have it? 1 hour seconds? No, I gotta make a new variable. Fuck. So, all right, so it has a category time. I'm pretty sure I have something with time. Here we go. Well, there should be other ones with time. Here we go. Now, I don't need this meta. But I do want to say display name equals 1 hour seconds. That should make the variable visible there. In Blueprint, I don't think that matters actually for us in C++, but fuck it. It's a float. We'll call it 1 hour seconds. And he defaults it to 10. All right, so we got our variable. So this thing. So we gotta say, so if 1 hour seconds is greater than 0, so I guess this is like a fail-safe where like if it's negative or 0, we just don't work. Now we gotta set play rates for our timelines. So now we gotta worry about some more things about our timelines. So at the bottom here, so we have something called movement timeline that we're gonna definitely change. So we're gonna call this weather timeline. It's kind of dumb, but whatever. And then U curve float F weather time. And then void, we're gonna say weather timeline. Yeah, that looks bad as a name, but I don't care at the moment. So now we're going to use our hero item collectible as a reference because we did timelines in here before. So, all right, so this is the callback. So that's tick. So this is where we're binding set shit, and there's the play from start. So is there literally, all right, so movement timeline. Which one is the movement timeline? So it's the F timeline. So can I say, so F weather, so F weather time? Is that what I called it? No, that's the curve. Oh boy, spammed bots, oh boy. You don't want to be famous. No, I don't. So is there dot set play rate? Yes. Yes. So the play rate is going to be equal to 1 divided by 1 hour seconds. And then there is a second timeline that it has for set sun visible. So I guess we gotta make that as well. Set sun visible, I'll call it. Wow, there's a lot of these fucking bots today. What the hell did I do? Okay, so we have our second timeline. Uh, 1 hour seconds. Boom. Okay. So we just did this. So now there's a function that we have called play timeline new. So play timeline new time. So I guess we'll have to make that function. So I don't think it has to be an actual function. So it's going to return a float. So we're gonna call float play timeline new time. Actually, no, it doesn't take a float. I mean, it doesn't return anything. It's a void. And then we do float new time. Now we can actually, this needs to probably be private. And then we can create the implementation. So the first thing it does is sets the new time. Why is it complaining about that? All right, I'm gonna just assume Visual Studio is being dumb. So weather time timeline. We need to do set new time, and it's gonna be new time. Let me just compile, make sure there's no problems. Seems like it's gonna have a problem. I need to get more water. So we're gonna see if this is okay. Alright, cool. We don't need to do that. So we do, we set the new time and then we actually play the timeline. Now, how do we actually do that? So we gotta bind the function. So I'm not confident in this. I always forget how this all goes. But this should all kind of make sense. So we gotta do something like this, except, I guess we could say timeline progress here because this is not gonna do anything. So bind u function and then we're gonna bind this. And then there's a curve, f weather time. And then play from start is not what we want based on this. It's just play. We have one that's called play from start, though, so we'll definitely need to do that. I'm gonna just say there's a play. So let's try to compile that. I'm just nervous about all these underlines, so I don't know what they are. Yeah. All right, movement timeline. That's right. That's not what it's called. So let's try again. Man, I am fucking exhausted these days. Oh. All right. We're good there. Let's implement that play from start version too. This one doesn't need any kind of parameter. I just can call this play timeline from start. And pretty much it's gonna do, yeah, what's interesting is, yeah, like, I'm really excited for the game to come out. It's very nice. Really exciting. This is actually, like, honestly, if you're not going to count Aquanox for much just because it wasn't very popular, but this is like the first game that I've worked on that has a decent amount of hype to it. And it's scary. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm on edge a little bit. But hopefully everyone likes it. I mean, I think a lot of people will, so I'm not too nervous. Okay, so we had play from start, and it pretty much does the same thing, except this time we call play from start here. It's the first game that I would gladly include in my portfolio. Yeah, I'm definitely going to include into my portfolio. I'm proud of Aquanox. You know, we did what we could. I'm proud of what I learned. happy with the people that I met. Did the game come out as good as I had hoped? No. Yeah, we all did our best. What else can you ask for? Like, that job helped me get this job, so I'm thankful for that. Okay, so now we have this this callback that we're calling the weather time timeline float return right here. Yeah, pretty much. I'm proud of the people, not much the game. Like, I'm proud of the lesson that we learned. I'm proud of the experience. Towards the end, it was kind of miserable, but you know, whatever. All right, so we can use this weather time timeline float return. So that's basically this updating thing. So we gotta do a bunch of things. It looks like. So first we gotta call interpolate param, and we're passing in value, so that's done. Next we got to so there's a function, not function, there's a variable here called world time. Do we have that? Yes, we do. Okay. So we're setting world time to be equal to value plus current hour so that's this, and then we gotta do set sun param, which I believe we have. Yeah. Takes two floats, so world time and then value. And then the last but not least, we have to make some new variables, some vectors for wind offset and direction, and then we're setting that in here. And I guess we also have to make wind speed. I really don't know the answer to that question, Christoph. Let's see how it's like, because I'm kind of drawing a blank on what we did. Right now I'm kind of like being a monkey. Yeah, so world time is what you said the first time. So it's like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, stuff like that. Okay, so we gotta create some new vectors. We'll make it its own section here, just because they're vectors and they all have to do with wind. So F vector wind offset, and wind offset by default is 1 in the X, so we can just do what? F vector and yeah, we can copy. All right, so they don't have a category, which is fine, I suppose, but we still want to get the U property. Okay, then we can copy that. The next one is current direction. I'll say current wind direction. So this one is also initialized as that same value. And then there's a float for wind speed. So I guess that's what we're gonna have to mess with once we have like storms and shit. We'll probably want to have the wind kind of go crazy during that part. So float, wind speed. And this value by default is 0.005. So we're good. So now we have these variables. So now we can go in here. We can say wind offset equals. Can I say plus equals current direction times get. Is that a function I can automatically call get world delta seconds? Obviously not. So this is gameplay statics. Did I include gameplay statics? Yes, I did. So I should be able to say u gameplay statics get world delta seconds. Anything. Oh, I gotta probably say this, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then we gotta say, all right, so it's something that we've done before because it's setting a vector parameter on this one material parameter collection. I think that's what, yeah, material parameter collection. We've done this a bunch of times, so we can pretty much copy and paste this. It's right here. But set vector parameter, it's gonna be wind offset. And yeah, we can just take that as conversion. But we did forget to say times wind speed. I think that's still valid. So we just did that. Okay. So we're gonna have to make a curve float that represents this and set it into this. So before we do that, let's figure out how we can call the onFinished callback. So I think we're gonna have. I know I didn't do this part for the item collection one, so we gotta look it up. So UE4 C++ timeline onFinished. There should be information on this. All right, so C++ timeline is definitely what we want. Okay, we were definitely here. Okay, so timeline finished is one. So we can say void. Let's see, weather timeline finished. Let's put the two plays ones next to each other like that. Then this one. So we also need to bind this U function. So timeline progress dot bind U function. This f name. I'm hoping that works. I'm not going to be able to tell, I don't think, until we try it. And we're also missing something in our tick. Because I know in collectible we have this tick. Yeah, movement timeline dot tick timeline. So where is our tick? Except it's not called movement timeline. Let's call it that. So assuming this onFinished callback is going to be legit, what are we doing? We are basically doing the next hour. So we're incrementing hour. and then calling set next weather, and then we're starting to play the timeline again from the start. So, let's see. So current hour plus 1 modulus 24. So current hour equals current hour plus 1 modulus 24. And just so we can be clear, separate those two parentheses, modulus 24. And then we use that value, call set next weather. Did we not create that? Oh my god. No, we did this. No, we didn't. Fuck, we have a Nah, you got to hydrate. Christoph will let you know. I drink a shit ton of water at work. I have like 4 or 5 of these like empty on my desk. You know your boy goes pee-pee often. Alright, so there is a new function called set next weather, and it's going to be a bunch of bullshit. So why does... This is confusing. So we set the next current hour, and then as soon as we go into set next weather, we add one more in modulus again. Oh, okay, I guess it's the next index. Are we sure we didn't do this one? Shit. Yeah, okay, then we're just gonna have to do it. Okay. So it takes an input parameter, integer, so void set next weather and 32 next hour. Okay, then we could just call set next weather now. Current hour. Boom. Alright. So at first it does this modulus thing, then it does these parameters, and we've done this a shit ton of times before, so this is not too scary. I'll try my best to do better with that. So I'll try to do that better starting now. So thanks for pointing that out, Chrissy. I appreciate it. So let's try, we'll see what we can do. So right now we have our function set next weather. So the first thing we're going to do is this. All we got to do is take that input parameter, add 1, take the modulus for it, and then set that value as the index. If you're not sure what a modulus does, just to remind myself, I believe it takes this number, it does a division by this number, so it's basically doing a division, but then it spits out the remainder. So for example, if this number is 24 and you do 24 divided by 24, the remainder is 0. But if you do like 24 divided by 25, I don't know what the remainder is, but it's gonna be like 1 or 2 or something. It's gonna be all the way up until, I think, like some value. Math modulus. Yeah, so it's basically what I said. It's the remainder after dividing one number by another. So that's what that does. So we can easily do this by... We have to make a new... I think we have to make a variable, but this might be a local variable. Yeah, it's a local variable, so we don't have to do anything in our header file. So we can do int32, next index equals next hour plus 1, and then modulus 24. And we're just going to put this in parentheses just so it's visually clear what we're doing. So what information do you get? Like, I don't fully understand, like, I don't fully understand the purpose in this context. I really do need to understand more. But like, for example, I guess the best means of it is, yeah, I don't know what the system does exactly. Like, I'm kind of just translating it, and then I want to focus on understanding it. Because like I really don't know. Like, it's doing a lot of things I don't fully understand. Like, there's all these material instances that it's like setting and shit like that. But in terms of using a modulus, I remember having to use. Yeah, it's not something I made. Like, I remember using modulus for when I was making the inventory stuff for Aquanox. So basically, if you had a certain width of like items, you can just say like I have 33 items, and I want to have like 8 per row. It would basically say, hey, okay, does this division have a remainder? If it does have a remainder, generate a new row, and then, you know, continue on. But I don't remember exactly if that's what it was. That's what I vaguely remember. So don't quote me on that. So first, what we're doing after we set this value is, so we're getting a texture parameter from this cloud material. And the parameter name is blend broker 0. And that return value is then going to be used in set texture parameter for both the cloud material and the sphere material, which I don't really understand. Yeah, I guess there's like a little bit of syntax differences there. Okay, so after this is where we can do cloud material, get texture parameter value. So we need to create an f hash material parameter info, cloud material info. Then the out value. So we gotta make what? U texture. Cloud texture. False. I think now we have to say cloud material info dot. Is there like a name? And then this is like f name blend broker 0. We've done this before, so I'm kind of confused. Let me just see. Oh, okay, so we can initialize this. Okay. And then the name is blend broker 0. All right, so we got that. All right, so this function, get texture parameter value, obviously returns a texture that is cloud texture. So now we gotta do set texture parameter value for the cloud material and the sphere material. So we can say sphere material, set texture parameter value. So it's taking the parameter name, so we can say f name, and then it's sky color. Sky color texture. Then the actual texture value, which is cloud texture. I think that's it. And then we do the same for cloud material. So those two lines is that. Now we got to do a set scalar parameter for both of them, but this parameter name is blend 0 and the value we're passing in is 0. So sphere material, set scalar parameter value. First one is the f name of the parameter. So blend 0. And then 0f. Then do the same for cloud material. Oops. We haven't compiled in a while, so let's just quickly compile. Like, I really need to understand what this fucking blueprint does before we even try to make our own weather type. Okay. Whoops, I did. Whoa. Wow. Stop! Stop what you're doing. Alright. Alright, so now we're just setting a bunch of parameters. Yeah, like I definitely want to add to it. We're definitely gonna have to extend it if we want to have something more than just the sun. Yeah. It's gonna be fucking insane. I first need to even understand volumetric clouds. So I think that's what we're gonna do next. Once we know this is working, we're gonna have to figure out volumetric clouds. We're gonna do a lot of learning, and this is not gonna be fun. Well, it could be fun. Learning is fun, kids. All right, so we're setting what? So current param equals next param. Current sun color equals next sun color. Yeah, I'm gonna have to depend on you a lot, Christoph, when we do that volumetric clouds, or if you can. I'm sure if I just Google it, I'll be able to find some information, but if you have anything that you think I should read, just link it now and I'll bookmark it. All right. So we just did a bunch of sets. Just understand the difference between 2D and 3D clouds. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be a total noob when that comes to that. But yeah, I'll definitely try. I'll do it for you, Christoph. Okay, yeah, and that's what we have right now. 2D textures on a plane or on a skybox. And I guess the 3D clouds are just in like volumes, I would assume. Like, okay. So, okay, it works with volumetric data. Okay. All right, so now we're doing a bunch of shit here. So current hour modules of weather change cycle equals 0. If it's true, then seems like we get a random weather. And if it's not, we just have this next weather buff and we pump that in. Same concept as the 2D, but it's 3D, but you can do the same things, use textures of generated shapes. Okay. So we have to do an if, and this if says current hour modulus weather change. All right, so we need a new integer weather change cycle, so it's under the category weather. It's not a T array, it's an integer. And its default value is 3. So if that's equal to 0, meaning it's easily divisible. What's wrong? Okay. So if it's true, next weather equals raffle weather array dot num -1 f math random ran int. So not like a, what the fuck, random integer in range. Okay, so is it ukismet math random integer in range 0 and this. Then we gotta say raffle weather dot get. No, just dot get. Oh no, we don't write it like that. Devin, you dumb piece of shit. We write it like that. All right. So we literally just wrote this. So it looks like it's getting a random weather and just sending it as the next weather. Then there's an else. So else we say next weather equals next weather buffer. And I guess I forget. I think that's set somewhere in the constructor script. So we just wrote all this. So after that, we gotta do all this shit. And then all this shit, and then, oh my god. Oh. Okay. So basically we got to say if next weather, and I guess it has to be, so dot material, weather material instance. So if this is valid, we say next param equals next weather dot weather material instance. And then, well, I guess we can write this as the ternary operator. We could say next param equals then this goes into the parenthesis, next weather dot weather material instance. So if it's true, we say next weather dot weather material instance. Otherwise, it is time material next index. Okay, Sandra's first. I have a dumb question. Is there a way to search the nodes you use in your BP like you would search for a Word document? Well, it depends. Like if it's like in what way? Like all of blueprints, because you can do Control F, like Control Shift F, and you'll get this menu that says Find in Blueprints, and then you can say, for example, set scalar parameter value, and it looks through all your blueprints and it finds all the cases that function was used. Is that what you're talking about? Or if you, instead of Control Shift F, you can do Control F, and that opens this thing on the bottom. And then you could say, timeline, and you can see the timeline, and you can just see what is being called. Timelines themselves, they're components. So I think you have to there's under components, and you have these timelines. Yeah, so Control Shift F within a blueprint document opens up this extended search.
And his name is John C.
There you go. What's up, Bill? So Control Shift F opens this extended search where you can look into your blueprints. Otherwise, you can do Control F, and that finds within the specific blueprint. There's also cool stuff you can do where you can right-click on something. You can type in reference viewer, and you can see all the references that it has. So like here, you'll see this is where the blueprint is referenced, and these are the different things referenced inside that blueprint. So that's something that's fun to look at. Yeah, life's okay, Bill. I'm kind of tired these days, but one more week until Outriders comes out, so we're pumped. I know you know that from yesterday, but that's all I'm focused on right now. All right. So, Christoph, I'm going to read your earlier message that's kind of long. The simplest way to think about it, the volumetric cloud is similar to the volumetric fog. It has a slightly different shader, and you know how you can put textures into the fog too, and now the cloud only looks good when you put textures into it. In a game like yours, it could have a weather map that is a local texture attached to the player, and you know that as the player moves, this attached texture would change as he moves to new areas, or you can have a big one that covers the whole map. Okay. Yeah, so like a game like mine, it makes sense to be attached to the player, obviously. And it would be grayscale. It would show whether you have storm as white, and where you have good weather as blue, for example, you could get away with 2D texture for this. Okay. All right. Where were we? Oh. Aha. Right. No, I lost where we were. Fuck. Set next weather. Okay. So we just wrote this. So now the rest is pretty much taking this structure, breaking it, and taking its information and putting into these variables. Yeah, like I want to have a pretty large map. Like not super large where I can't maintain it, but maybe like Oh, what's up, Shakama? Of course, thank you for the compliment. I'm always feeling sexy. How's it going? I'm doing good. Like, Christoph, how easy is it like completely dramatically two different things? Doing it like locally onto the player versus doing it on the entire map? Is it easy to go from one to the other? Is it something where like I can create to the player and then we find out we want to make it to the whole map? It's not a drastic change. All right. While you probably answer that, I'll continue here. So next sun color equals next weather dot sun color. Next skylight color equals next weather dot weather skylight color. Next fog color equals next weather dot weather fog color, and then overall color. Boom. So all that was this. Simple sets from this structure. Now we're doing a bunch of copy param override stuff. Ugh. Stuff I don't fully understand. Yeah, good questions, Sonia, not Sandra. Did we get that beast of a computer? Did you get your money back? All right, so if you stretch a 2K render target across a 2K map, that's okay, and you'll have acceptable resolution. Remember, this is just the weather data, and you blend textures based on this. But if you stretch the 2K across a 20-kilometer map, maybe you won't have enough resolution, and a pixel per minute would cover too large on the sky. I see. Which computer is this? Ooh. Only, well, I don't want to say only $3,000, but seems pretty expensive. So Windows 10, AMD Ryzen, 16 gigs of memory, RTX 3080. It has a 500 gig thing, a Seagate 2 TB hard drive. So I hope that's a solid state drive. That's first. Sound card, a keyboard, a mouse, an internal network card. Seems okay. Sorry, hold on. I'm losing track of what I'm doing. Okay, so we gotta do copy override. So current dynamic param copy param. Right, overrides. What is it? What does this take? All right, just the material instance, so it's next param. So you have a 16-core CPU and the shit. Damn. How much was your computer overall, Christoph? Do you remember? Like, if you can quantify your parts right now, you know, just the computer, not like monitors or anything. Now we gotta do current. We gotta do what? We're getting a texture parameter value, so we definitely need to do something like this. 5,000 euros, damn dude. Yeah, Christoph can take every single ounce of that computer to like use. So we need to get sky color texture. We're gonna say now we gotta call this param buff. Okay. Yeah, RAM is one of the more easier things to just add on. So yeah, you can always add on later. So I would follow what Sandra's saying. Okay. So now we gotta do current dynamic. Copy param overrides of cloud material. And then we gotta say some of the things that we said before. But instead of cloud texture, we're doing param buff. And yeah, we're doing blend broker 0. Okay, so we just did this, I hope. Now we're doing a for each loop. Oh boy, they. All right, so I think we did a similar loop. Pretty much, I believe it's this. Yeah, 16 gigs of RAM is a solid starting point. Next, weather buffer dot scalar param override dot num. Let me just comment this out. Okay, so we gotta do this. So basically we're looping through these scalar parameters. We're getting in from that element, we're setting an array element. Of next weather. So next weather dot scalar param override. Index. And I guess I gotta say what? Dot index? No. Dot. So param name equals next weather buffer dot scalar param override index dot param name. Okay, I think that's valid. I think that's what we want to do. Then we gotta say, so the item param min, so next weather dot scalar param override at index dot param min equals, yeah, so cloud material get scalar parameter value. Oops. All right, we're gonna have to do something like this again. So we're gonna say, we can call it next weather. And it's gonna need this. And we can take this. So we're gonna have to make a float. Float, next weather, scalar value. All right, so I think this needs to be its own line. This will be next weather, scalar value. So I think it's got to do something like that. Yeah, Christoph is all about solid state drives, and he makes good, honestly, there's definitely good points for it. Okay. So what we just wrote was this. So now we gotta get param max, so we're doing random float and range. So next weather dot so dot index dot param max equals is it Ukismet math library random float in range. Minimum is going to be next weather buffer dot what? That's scalar param override. Param min. The next weather buffer dots scalar. Now it's buffer. Okay. All right, yeah. So you got the okay from Christoph to buy the computer. Do it. Okay. And last but not least, next weather dot scalar param override index dot interpolate curve equals next weather buffer dot scalar param override index dot interpolate curve. Okay. So I think that's all we need to do. So we just wrote this entire thing. No, wait, there's more. Fuck my face. So we gotta see. So basically, it's gotta check if sun is visible. So if this sun visible does not equal this, then set sun visible. So if next weather dot sun visible equals sun, what was it, be sun visible? That does not equals set sun. All right, so we don't have this fucking function either. God damn it. Okay, so this is a timeline. So we gotta make a new function. Void set sun visible. All right, so we created that. And then all we have to do is literally call set sun visible. Okay. So that's that. So we just finished set next weather. So now we can go back to the timeline being finished. And now we can call play timeline from start. Boom. Okay. So now we can work on yeah, if you get the job, Sandra, treat yourself to whatever you want. All right, so now we gotta work on set visible, set sun visible. So there has to be a reverse on end callback that we have to do. So first we gotta be like, all right, if be sun visible. We don't have to do a branch here. We could just say be sun visible equals not be sun. Can we do like that equals be sun visible? Is that a valid thing? Maybe. All right, so now we have the sun visible timeline. So we're gonna make a new curve. So we're gonna call it F sun visible. Now we gotta make this a new function. And we're gonna call this sun visible timeline. Implement that. And we'll come back to that in a second. Yeah, we gotta write this as an if statement. So if be sun visible, then we gotta say be sun visible not equal to be sun visible. I guess we gotta say equals false. Then we could say play from start, else be sun visible true. I feel like this is backwards. So if it's true, we set it to false. Yeah, that's right. And then we gotta say reverse from end. So I have this timeline. I guess we have to make these functions. So void do we need to? It's always on update. I wonder. Let's see. So I guess it has to be the float return. And then what is it? F sun visible. And then play from start. And then we can just copy this. But we gotta see, is there like a reverse on end? Yes. Okay. I think that's all we have to do, but now we have to, on this sun visible timeline param, we gotta do that set scalar again. This thing. Except this F name is going to be sun visible. It's going to take in value. And instead of set vector, it's going to be set scalar. Okay. So that should be that. So I think we also have to add that thing in the event tick. Where is tick? Here we go. So I'm calling weather timeline. So I gotta just call it that. Okay. Whew. Okay, we're almost done. Until we find out that this thing's fucking broken. Oh, alright, we need another timeline. It's called change wind direction, is the function. So void change wind direction. So we need to make a new vector. So we have current wind direction, but we need to make another one. And it's called current wind direction buffer. By default, it has that same value. And then we need another one called next wind direction. Don't be suspicious. All right. So we have these vectors now. So we can ignore this normalize because it's not plugged into anything. Just gotta do that. So current wind direction buffer equals current wind direction. Next wind direction equals is met math library random float in range -1 and 1. So we gotta make an F vector, so we should be able to do something like that. So X and Y are gonna be this, and Z is gonna be 0. So I think that's okay. And now we gotta make one more timeline. Ow. So this is wind direction. So wind direction timeline. We'll make a new curve float. And then it's gonna be F wind direction. Do I need anything else? Maybe not. We will need we'll need one of these for sure. We'll say wind direction timeline float return. And then we also need an on finished. Void wind direction timeline finished. Create that implementation. So we have, let me just move those two together. Okay. So now on update, we're lerping between these directions and current direction. All right, so it's kind of like looping and kind of just doing some randomization. So for this one, we gotta say current wind direction equals. Now do I have to do U Kismet math library lerp? So it's gonna be vlerp for vector. It's going to be current wind direction buffer. Next wind direction, and then alpha is value. That's all that does. And then we have wind change cycle. No? No, we don't. So this one's under weather. So, okay, so it's gonna be something like this. So it's gonna be wind change cycle. It's gonna be a float, yes. And it's gonna be 30 seconds by default, based on what I'm seeing here. All right, so when the timeline's finished, so delays in C++ are different than they are in blueprints. I believe we need a timer handle. So why would you, Christoph, why would you store dick pics on your computer? Is it my dick pics, my cookie pics? UE4 C++, timer handle. We can count on Tom Newman. So we need to make a timer handle. Does that have to be... All right, let's make it here. Four terabytes of dick pics. That's how I low. How's it going, Admiral? Admiral Stupid Bath? Awesome name. So we need to make F timer handle wind change cycle handle. I don't know if we need the delegate, but we'll make one F. Maybe we don't need the handle. And then we'll need a function. Well, okay. So, okay, we'll need the timer delegate. So F timer delegate wind change cycle delegate. So on finished, we could say weather change, no, wind change cycle delegate dot bind u function this f name, and we already have a function change wind direction, I believe is what it's called. Yes. And it doesn't take any input parameters. Then we could say get world timer manager dot set timer wind change handle, and then was it Wind change cycle delegate. Float rate. Wind change cycle. What did I name that? Fuck. Oh. Wind change cycle. No looping, because we're gonna do it over and over again. Okay, I think we can do that. Oops. And that should handle this. I mean, I guess we should have end play. Yeah, sorry, I'm like half paying attention to the chat now. I'm kind of hardcore into this. We're almost done until we have to like debug this and see if we broke anything. So this is an actor. Actor should have this like end play. Okay, this is what we want. Probably could do under protected. So override. Implement this. So basically on end play, we can do what? We want to clear the timer. So is it wind change handle dot oh fuck. This is what we want. Okay, basically on end play, we want to clear that timer. All right. So yeah, Christoph, if you use that code, Devin-Sherry, it has, I don't think it's the marketplace, but if you do it in the game store, a small percentage of the money that you purchase with goes to me. So if you pay $30 for the game, like 5% goes to me, for example. You don't have to pay anything extra. You just pay the full price, and if you use that code, a certain percentage goes to me. Okay, okay, we're done with the timeline stuff, kind of. Yeah, if you do decide to buy games on the Epic Game Store, use that code. But yeah, if you mostly do stuff on Marketplace, it's not gonna work there. But it's all good. No need to worry. Give me a second while I just check some messages. Okay. All right, so we're done with the timeline. So there is a debug. So we can add a debug because it's just in tick. So UE log temp, warning, and then it's printing out world time. Okay. And then it's also doing another log, logging out the name of the current weather. So log temp, warning, text, string, and then I guess we gotta do next weather dot weather type is that really valid? Let me just fucking compile, see if there's a problem. Okay. Skip restore, but we want to. We don't need this open. No. No. All right. But we need a new variable for debug purposes. So one more time, public boolean, no, bool b time debug, and we'll say equals false. By default, it's going to be a u property. And category debug. There's not much to see at this game, but I'll show you in a second. Okay. I think that's it. Let me just check again. Begin play. Oh yeah, we got a call. We gotta call a couple more things in begin play. I forgot. So we gotta do play, timeline, new time, and it's gotta be float. Oops. Init minute divided by 60, and then we call change wind direction. Now that's boom, I believe. All right, so event begin play. We call the super, then we do initialize, weather raffle, then we check if that 1 hour seconds is greater than 0, then we set the play rates, then we set the timeline for the normal thing, and then we change the wind direction. Okay. So we got begin play. We got the debug. And I believe we got all these timelines. And then we have the construction script, and we know we did all of that. So we can save. Let's compile again. And I can close out of this. Oh. Okay. So, Shakama, just so you're aware, this is the game that we're working on. We purchased this dynamic weather system, and it's a blueprint, and that's what we've been converting slowly to C++. But it should allow us to have nice weather and stuff like that. And with how it works right now, we can make it go quicker and stuff like that. Forget where. This should be like, yeah, init minute is what? No, seconds, right? So we could say 1 hour is 1 second in game time. Yeah, I want it to look kind of like Studio Ghibli, like, you know, obviously that's like a fantastic art style, but yeah, that's what I was thinking, Christian. Init minute. But yeah, like have a nice, like, stylized environment. So now you'll see the sun kind of go up and, you know, it'll change everything. It'll turn into like nighttime. I gotta figure out why the moon and stuff is so stretched, but and then it can rain, and then we have to figure out how to get it to rain correctly, and then we're back to normal, and then we have storm and lightning. So it seems like it's gonna rain a lot. So yeah, we gotta just figure out a couple of different things, but we're doing okay. Honestly, that's not what we just did in C++, but that's just how it is. How often will it rain? I don't want it to rain that often. I want it to seem normal, you know what I mean? Like a normal amount of time. And then like, you know, depending on which biome you're in, like I would like there to be like a desert biome, and if you're in the desert, it's never going to rain. And then like if you're in a snowy area, the rain is turned into snow instead. Stuff like that. So I just gotta figure out how to do that kind of thing. Yeah, good for you, Shakama. Yeah, doing the actual cycle is probably not that hard, but this one has like updated everything, and like I'm just too lazy to do that. And something we could just extend easily, hopefully. So under Hero, we have our weather system, and we have the blueprint that we have. This is the one that we've been working with. Has no actual logic anymore. It's all in C++. So all we have to do now is copy over the parameters, like these whatever they're called, curves. We basically just gotta make sure they're all the same. And then, in theory, it quote unquote theory, it should work. But we're gonna do that next time. I don't want to see it not work and then be upset for the whole weekend. So we're gonna do that next time. And we are gonna have to create some timeline curves. Oh, I'm not doing it now. Fuck you, Christoph. Give you something to do, something to look forward to for the next time. So that's where we're gonna end it now. We're almost there. We're done with this. Hopefully done with the C++ part. All we have to do is set all our variables so all the curve floats. And then at some point, eventually, we'll have to adjust these curve floats to fit how we want our things to look. And then we're good from there. Yeah, I only stream for 2 hours. Like I work 8-9 hours a day at my other job, so 2 hours you're lucky to get, because I'm usually exhausted by the end of the day. Unless it's a weekend, and then I try to stream a little bit more if I'm doing game dev. But yeah, 2 hours is the best I can do without killing myself, So I'm gonna prepare us to raid. We're going to do Sovereign Dev, because he's doing some similar stuff that I'm doing. He's way ahead of me. He's doing all his stuff in blueprints, but it's still interesting to watch. So, and he's doing all his art and things like that, so it's pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna raid him. If you aren't already following me here on Twitch, go ahead and leave a follow if you're interested to keep up with this project and learn. Join our Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to me on YouTube for all these live streams. I put them up usually the next day. You can follow me on Facebook if you'd like. You can subscribe to my Patreon. You can get access to the source code and project on GitHub if you are subscribed to a certain tier. And I think that's it. So have a good night, guys. Thanks so much, Christoph. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll stream on the weekend. Probably not, but if anything, I'll see you guys Monday. Have a good night, and see you soon.